Hello students, in our last lecture we started the elements of directing and we learned about the first element of directing, that was supervision. Today we will be talking about the second element, that is motivation. We learned that there are four elements of directing. First is supervision, second is motivation, third is leadership, and fourth is communication. In supervision we learned that the supervisor oversees the work of his subordinates working under him and monitors the progress of work, keeps a strict watch on the work which is being carried out, so that the subordinates they work as per the requirement of the organization, and whenever whatever problems they face in work, that is solved by his supervisor, that helps the subordinates to work properly towards the achievement of the organizational goals. That is why it has been considered as a very important element. But it is also observed that by merely exercising the formal authority, it is not always possible to get work done in the organization. Because it is sometimes seen in the organization that some people they are reluctant to do the work though they have the ability to do it. Earlier they were working very effectively, but suddenly a change in the behavior of a person is observed. A competent personnel becomes incompetent, doesn't feel like working in the organization. It is seen that a certain change in the behavior of a person is observed. Why does it happen? So, if that is the situation, it is not only possible by using force or by giving proper direction and supervision, only the work will be done. So, there is need for something to make people work effectively. What is that something which is required at that stage where we see that there is a reluctance, where there is unwillingness in the employees, because there is something inside them which is not letting them work. And that something is what is called the drive in them. That is the need. There are different kinds of needs which each and every individual has. And once that need which arises within an individual emerges, a person starts feeling a desire to satisfy it. And that doesn't allow a person to concentrate to work. So if that is the situation, because there are different employees who are working in the organization with innumerous needs and aspirations. So sometimes the situation may happen. So in that situation, if the organization, in an organization, the different employees' needs have to be satisfied to make them work willingly or voluntarily, what should be done? The answer to this question lies in the term motivation. It is motivation which can stimulate a person to work voluntarily. And that motivation can only be provided to a person by fulfilling the need which a person has, which is not allowing a person to work which earlier he was capable, although he is capable of working. So motivation is something which induces, which incites, which encourages to move the subordinates to work in a desired manner. Motivation moves a person. Motivation has come from the word movement, and movement will only take place when a person is motivated from inside. So motivation induces, it stimulates, it incites the different employees working in the organization to take up work willingly and work towards the achievement of the organizational goals. In motivation, there are three interrelated terms which has to be understood very clearly. The first is motive, second is motivator, and third is motivation. Sometimes it is asked in the exams also. So what is motive? Motive always arises out of needs. Motive to work. The motive is always associated with individual's needs, which arises within an individual. And different individuals, they have different motives to work. They work in order to fulfill their need. So if their need is not fulfilled, they will be reluctant to work. That has to be understood. So if they have some need that stimulates a person to work, so it is the hidden willpower, you may say, which encourages a person to work. That need may be of various kinds. It may be the basic need of fulfillment of food, clothing, shelter, or in the organization. It may be other different kinds of need for recognition, need for prestige, need for security, job security, need for safety, need for praise, need for promotion. There may be different kinds of needs. So associated with it is the motive, which motivates a person to work towards fulfillment of that need. Motivator. Now the second term is motivator. Motivator is a technique. Motive is the hidden willpower which stimulates a person or incites a person to work. Motivator is a technique which is used to motivate. So different persons, according to the needs which arises within a person, the motivator has to be used. That motivator sometimes is in the form of pay, sometimes it is in the form of bonus, sometimes it is in the form of recognition, sometimes in the form of promotion, praise. So motivator can be financial motivator or it can be non-financial motivator. So it can be anything. If the need is for promotion, then increase in pay is not going to motivate a person. So it depends what is the need of a person in the organization, and there are different persons working in the organization. So different techniques of motivation has to be used, which is called a motivator, to motivate a person, to stimulate them to action. Third is the term motivation. Motivation is a process of stimulating people to action towards achievement of organizational goals effectively or efficiently. So it can be stimulation, any word can be used. It can be inducement, it can be incitement of people, encouragement of people to work towards achievement of organizational goals. So the three different terms can be asked in the exams also. So try and understand it. features of motivation. There are basically 4 features. First is motivation is an internal feeling. Motivation is a feeling which arises within an individual and it is hidden inside. If it arises, it affects the behavior of a person and a person starts behaving in a certain way. So it is the hidden internal feeling which arises within a person. Second is motivation produces goal directed behavior. We see that if a person feels the need for promotion or feels the need for praise, that promotion or that praise or recognition can help the person to act in a desired manner. A person may not be working because he might be expecting a promotion in the organization, and if that promotion is given to the person, we see that the person starts working properly. So always it produces the goal directed behavior. So if that motivator is provided to the person in the form of a promotion, automatically the willing cooperation of the person will come immediately, and that is what is the need of the organization for the fulfillment of the organizational goals. Third is motivation can be either positive or negative depending upon the situation, because in an organization there may be different types of people working. There are people who are hard workers. There are also people who are shirkers. They are evasive at times. So both types, positive and negative motivation, has to be used. If a person is hard working, appreciation, praise, award, recognition, promotion, these things can encourage a person to work willingly and give best performance in the organization, and that will be positive motivation. If a person is a shirker, always tries to escape, always tries to be dishonest in his work, then negative motivation has to be provided. That may be in the form of punishment in a way. So it may be demotion, it may be cutting of salary. So these types of, you may say, negative motivation can also bring a person to the right path, and that helps the organization to move towards the objective for which it has hired people in the organization to serve the organization. Motivation is a complex process because the same motivator cannot be used for everyone. Different techniques of motivation are there. Different types of motivators have to be used, understanding the situation and need of an individual. And different individuals, human beings, they always have complex nature, and their needs, that is something which is hidden inside an organization. The manager has to understand the needs and expectations of those individuals and then apply the motivator to satisfy a person so that the person can work properly and willingly towards the achievement of the organizational goal. So it is considered as a complex process. Had there been only one motivator, it would not have been complex, because understanding the human behavior is something which is a difficult process. And if a proper motivator is not utilized to satisfy the needs of an individual, that is not going to motivate a person to action. So that is something which is important. Now we are going to take another topic, and that is motivation process. When we say motivation process, means there is always a step in the process of motivation which is associated. Motivation is always associated with need. So it is also called need satisfying process. So there are 6 steps in this. Unsatisfied need. Motivation always arises out of needs of an individual. If a person's need is unsatisfied, it is going to create tension in the mind of a person. For example, if I am hungry and I have not eaten anything from morning, by the time it becomes noon, it is going to give me tension, because my unsatisfied need is need for food. That is going to create tension, and that tension drives a person. Drives means the force which energizes a person to action. If I am hungry, by noon, if I start feeling that I need something to eat, that is what is the tension, I will certainly try to find out something to eat. And that is what is the drive. That is the force which is inciting me to act, to satisfy my need. Drive means the force. Search behavior. And that drive stimulates a person to search for the thing you need to satisfy yourself. So I will be starting looking here and there to find out something to eat. And as soon as I get something to eat and my need for food is satisfied, there is a reduction of tension. That need is fulfilled and my tension will go away. So there are 6 steps. First is unsatisfied need. It creates tension. Second step, tension leads to drive. Drive leads to search behavior. After searching, you will see that you satisfy your need, and if your need is satisfied, there will be reduction of tension. This is the motivation process. There may be different examples. I just gave you the example of need for food, hunger, that can be satisfied. Now, thus, in conclusion, what we see is that when a person gives good work performance in the organization, there is always some lurking need in the background which is exerting pressure on him or her to work. Unless and until a person is motivated, he will not work. So if he is working, that means there is some need which is energizing a person to work, and that is why the person is working towards the goal-directed behavior. Therefore, need continuously, we can conclude that need is something which continuously motivates a person. Now with this, the introduction part is over. In our next topic, we will be talking about the importance of motivation and also the Maslow's need hierarchy theory, which is very, very important. Till then, thank you all of you.